I would have really liked this film a lot more if it really laid back on the CGI. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't entertained. But nonetheless, we're going to get into the review of this film right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film The Emperor's Sword, which you can stream now on the Hi-YAH app. And then I did find out today that it will be having a physical release, DVD, Blu-ray, and all that other good stuff, sometime later on this year. But yeah, films like this really calls to me, this really old school film aesthetic. Any film when you're talking about any Chinese film when you're talking about the eras of the kingdoms and that style of action, it's automatically a draw to me. And I just recently watched the film Dynasty Warriors, and upon checking out this film, I was like, okay, I'm on my high right now because Dynasty Warriors I enjoy so much. So I definitely was looking to see where was I going to get my next fix. But I checked out this film, and the first thing I want to talk about is the CGI, because it is super overkill. Like, the first act, I was just like, oh god. Like, I instantly thought this wasn't going to be good because it was so much. And the one thing I said that I really appreciated about Dynasty Warriors is that when it came down to the herd armies, is that they actually use people. And this one, you can tell, was all computer generated. However, they did kind of lax back on it at times, but there was scenes where the CGI could have completely just not been there, and I think I would have appreciated those scenes a lot more. And quite frankly, jumping all the way to the end of the film, if you watch the during the credits footage that they show all the green screen and CGI work that they did in the film with the overlays, so you can see the practical and then with the CG on it. And then I'm pretty sure you're gonna feel like me. You're gonna say, well, that wasn't so bad. I could have went with that. So, like, very noticeable CGI. It didn't really take me out the film, but there were some scenes, especially the final scene, that I was like, oh wow. Wow, why? Just completely why. But again, because this is a Chinese film, it is spoken in the native language of Mandarin, with English subtitles. The film is about an hour and a half. It's a quick, easy watch. I love a film just at this margin, but nonetheless, the premise is very simple. You have a sword that was split into two that created balance within all over across China. But if one sword was to get onto one emperor's side of things, then that would give him complete control over the world, since the sword possesses power that we never got to see, by the way. But I mean, that's what it says, but it is what it is. But yeah, one emperor dies, and the only person left of that empire is a lone daughter of his, and his dying wish is to make sure that she gets it to safety. She's completely helpless, so she is out here by herself. She does meet some allies. Meanwhile, she's being tracked down for it, hunted for it. So that's the premise of the film. And like, again, very simple and short. Now, to kind of go about some things, this film is kind of ruthless because, like, all of the women completely get slaughtered. Like, I feel like most movies like this, they kind of are really lax on, like, women being the target, or like they're getting the pass. But like, no woman was safe in this. And it was at one point where I was like, oh, there's no way they'll kill her. And then she got killed. I was like, okay. And then it happened again. I was like, all right, I'm throw that in the notes. No woman was safe, for real. The cinematography, super cool, because they really took some really interesting approaches in some of the scenes. And when you watch the footage towards the end, the behind the scene footage, you'll see they even used this robot that kind of tracks as well too, like a major stabilizer, or whatever you call it. Yeah, stabilizer. That really made some of the action scenes really cool. So like, you'll definitely see some really cool cinematography techniques throughout the entire film. Like they actually, I feel like they were actually getting creative to a point. They was like, yeah, let's try that. Let's just try that. And they just kept trying different things. Like not one, two scenes felt the same because of the idea of how they just kept playing with the cinematography, and it was really cool. The plot, I enjoyed the plot. As I said, like, it was very simple. It was almost like a Lord of the Rings sort of plot where they had to get the ring to safety, or destroy the ring with somebody who had essentially no skill, but he had allies around him in order to protect him on his journey. That's kind of what this was kind of about, except there was a lot of arrows and swords and all sorts of things in the direction instead of orcs. So another thing with everything happening, as far as with the killing and whatnot, there was no blood. And I think that is, I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like the film wasn't trying to be PG-13, but maybe it was. I don't see why not. I guess that's the thing. I don't see why they didn't go for the blood, but it was super noticeable about like some of the like theatrics with some of the people being killed, and you know how the choreography was. It's just like, yeah, that definitely deserves a blood splatter, and it didn't. And it was kind of like, all right, maybe this scene won't get it, you know. It's like, all right, cool, there's no blood in this film. But talking about the end of the film, again, the action overall was pretty solid. The middle lost a little bit of steam, but the final act I thought picked up a little bit. But overall, it could have all used more action in every department. Like, it was good, but like there was definitely a margin for more. And maybe that's because this looks like this film wants to have a sequel, and maybe they're waiting for that. Maybe this, I mean, clearly, again, by looking at the after the credits stuff, you can tell everybody had a lot of fun in filming this, and that's the most important thing. Maybe they are leaving room for this to grow, because there definitely was a lot more that could have been done in certain things. But in regards to the plot, there was definitely things that truly made me scratch my head, especially the last scene. There was a character who appeared to have died, but I do not know who dies falling into water. In the rate of how it was displayed, I'm almost sure that character is still alive, and the fact that the other character that was with that character thought that character died, and I'm pretty sure everybody watching it is going to think like that person is definitely still alive, definitely was a head scratcher. Also with some of the CGI that was in that scene, ooh, it wasn't good. It really wasn't good. But like I said, there could have been a lot more action towards the end of this film. Really feel a lot more climactic, like give us that big last boom, you know what I mean? But again, if they're all setting up for more, then I guess that's why. But still, you want to leave this film wanting you to know more, or desiring more. Like, yes, you want to know more about the story, because you're all left with a cliffhanger in regards to the alignment of like the kingdoms and whatnot, or the dynasties and whatnot. But you know, the action, I think, is why you're here, you know. The story's the story, but like the action is really what keeps you locked in. I think that they really needed a stronger act in order to really want to bring people back in for more. But like I said, like the film was enjoyable. I didn't love it. Could have been better. There's room for growth. Hopefully they do decide to go ahead and pull the trigger and do another one, because I definitely would check it out. But overall, for a first film, it was entertaining, and I'm cool with that. I'm definitely cool with that. But yeah, folks, check this out. This is the Emperor's Sword. It again is available on the Hi-YAH app, streaming now, and you can check this out on a physical release later on this year, DVD, Blu-ray, all that other good stuff. Definitely jump in the comments, folks. Let me know your thoughts about this film. And as always, folks, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you around for more reviews very soon. Big gold bell.